Hi, and welcome to another episode of Rob's Triathlon Tips for Beginners. This will be a video about the different aspects of being successful at triathlon. So you might see some other videos where they mention three or four or five things, and I've come up with 11 things that I think are key to consider and work on in your training for triathlon. So I'll go through that list now. Um, The three obvious aspects of triathlon that you want to work on are swimming, cycling, and running. Um, and you get better at those over time, building your fitness, getting tips from other people, coaches, watching videos, but you also learn from mistakes in races. Um, what I call the fourth aspect of doing triathlons is transitions. And what's meant by transitions is that period where you're switching from swimming to cycling or from cycling to running. And you learn over time how to do those transitions efficiently and how to not miss things and how to not get disqualified, for example, like unracking your bike before putting your helmet on. There's some rules to be followed in transitions. Um, a fifth aspect of triathlons is the nutrition side of it. And so when I use the word nutrition, I mean nutrition during a race, nutrition during training, the aspect of trying to control your body weight. Um, and in a race, your nutrition fuels you, but also hydrates you. Um, and you need to practice your fueling in training and in races to get the fueling right. You got to know what your stomach can handle for food and for hydration, and you got to also figure out how much fuel is enough for you. You don't want what's called bonking, where you're just all of a sudden out of energy and you can't continue. In terms of body weight, some studies have shown that for each pound of weight that you lose, you could reduce the pressure on your knees, for example, by as much as 4 pounds while running. So your body weight can have a huge impact on your health. So that may be a particularly important reason to ease your way into the longer distances over a few years, because as you're doing more and more training, I would assume that your body weight's going to go down gradually over time. And so as it goes down, you could start doing the longer races and be less likely to hurt yourself and place less stress on your joints. Um, Another aspect, what I would call number 6, is strength training. Uh, you may not think right away that you need to be doing strength training because you're doing triathlon, but strength training will not only help you get better at swimming and cycling and running, but it will also make you more resilient to all the punishment that your body is taking, where you're going on, you're doing a long run and you're just sort of pounding your joints and your muscles, and it really takes a toll unless you have a regimen of doing strength training regularly. Um, the less you prioritize strength training, the more likely you will be spending time with a physiotherapist, and I've been there. Um, you're trying to get over your injuries, and it's frustrating because you can't train the way you want to. Maybe you hurt your shoulder, so all you can do is ride your bike because it hurts too much to run. And eventually, after going to the physiotherapist for different injuries, you start to learn, I need to do all these strength exercises that they're prescribing to me. It's for a reason. It's to prevent these injuries. It's not just to help me get over this injury I have right now. I need to incorporate strength training. Um, a seventh aspect of triathlons to focus on is mobility. Basically, that means like flexibility. That'll make you a better athlete. If you can't really rotate your arm properly, how are you going to be any good at swimming? If you can't get a full range of motion in your hips, how are you going to be good at running and cycling? So for that reason, I do yoga 2 to 4 times a week, and it's had a huge impact, a positive benefit to my training. And I'll do a separate video on yoga. Um, an eighth aspect of triathlon training would be the mental side of it. It takes some time to develop mental toughness to do the crazy thing that is a triathlon. uh, you may hit a wall through a long run, and halfway through a long run, for example, and you learn how to push through those walls. And regularly doing things that are uncomfortable start to make pushing through walls just sort of second nature. I have a little sticker on my bike, for example, right where I might look down on my tri bars, and it says "Shut up, legs." So, little motivating sticker there on my bike to help me remind me to push through a wall if things are sucking. Uh, and the mental aspect of triathlons ties nicely into the next element, which I would call rest. You absolutely have to prioritize rest as part of your training. I would recommend not to train 7 days a week. If you had to do something 7 days a week, maybe on the seventh day, it's more of a recovery type of yoga, just so you're moving a little bit. You're not getting stiff, you're stretching. That would be an exception. You have to get enough sleep. You have to go see massage therapists when you need to, when you've got knots, when you just feel brutal. You've got to learn how to stretch properly. You've got to learn how to use a foam roller. You've got to try things like ice baths, etc. Resting is very important. Um, and your body can really only do so much for so many days in a row. And and that does improve over time, but it takes some time. And you learn to just see the cues in your mood and different parts of your body, and just change your plan for the week and admit that you need a rest day as well. So you can't always follow what you've put down in your plan. Uh, and number 10 would be fun. You can't forget to have fun. You can get pretty sick of the monotony of training and focusing so much on goals and trying to improve your performance. You've got to include fun in your weekly life. And that includes like doing stuff with your family, mixing in some cross training that you don't set goals around. Like you can get a fat bike and ride that in the snow in the winter. You can ride your skateboard. You can play tennis. Go play golf. Just mix it up, like 2 or 3 times a week. Just do something that has a fitness benefit to it, but not necessarily something that you've got a goal around for triathlon. Um, yeah, that's an important part of your mental health for sure. Not just mental toughness, but mental health, not just getting stressed out by training. And the last key thing that I could think of to do with triathlons is your family and your friends. You're going to need their support for training and doing triathlons, especially if you're committed to it over the years and you want to do full distance Ironmans. You're gonna need your friends and family support. You need to commit a lot of time to it, and that will impact your family and your friends. So you've got to consider that. And you also want their support to be there on your race days to cheer you on. It really picks you up as you're maybe hitting a wall, and they cheer you on and they give you high fives when you transition from the bike to the run, for example. So make sure that you talk to your family, especially about your goals, and that they're on board with it, and that you're not just sort of doing your own thing and appearing to be selfish in their eyes. That won't end well. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like and make sure you're subscribed to my channel with the little bell set to all for notifications so you don't miss one of my videos. And share this video with someone you know that may benefit from it. Thank you.